Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. We are still making our way through Sharessa's Caress. We've now made our way to the door that we assume is Raphael's room, where he is asked to speak with us. So, I guess let's head on in.
Looking ahead. Here goes nothing.
Oh, Voss is here, talking to Raphael. That's
You underestimate the forgotten princess.
interesting.
Sword, devil.
Just seeing if there's anything else of note in here, but no, just that Raphael and Voss
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
are hanging out together.
Hand it over. Much more than your fate and mine rests on it.
Even if you had it, what in the nine hells would you do with it? Think a little, Captain Voss.
He can be set free. I know he can be set free.
Does he think that Raphael has the artifact? Orpheus? Hey, Voss.
You must hear me, devil. I will do whatever it takes. Give you anything you ask.
There is only one thing in this world that I desire. You do not have it, and you never will.
The Kithrak? What deal would he make with this devil?
You must help me, Raphael. For the sake of my people.
Hush now, Voss. These guests may not know it yet, but they want the same thing that you do. And unlike you, they have something of value to offer in return.
Lae'zel, Talak Magir. The devil holds the key to freeing the Gith people. Right here, right now. You could seal our fate. Whatever you discuss with this devil, I must hear of it. Find me below in the tap room, once you're loosed from his claws.
You are very scratched up.
I'm glad you came. Not to my door, not yet, but to the final reckoning. One more thing before we begin, though.
Okay.
For the first time since the Nautiloid, your mind is clear. It's unsettling.
Did you just cure me of the tadpole with a click of your fingers? I feel empty. What did you do? Another party trick. Show me something real. Given that I still look like a half illithid, I don't think I'm cured of the tadpole. But he maybe has somehow created more of a barrier between us and the Absolute than what the Emperor is doing with Orpheus. Which strikes me as crazy powerful, if that's true. Did you just cure me of the tadpole with the click of your fingers?
Wouldn't that be exquisite? But no. I'm afraid the tadpole is still there. But I did shut out your other visitor for a while.
Oh, he shut out the Emperor.
Enjoy some privacy. The illithid can't hear us.
I trust the illithid more than I trust you. No. I don't trust either. Then speak freely, tell me why you brought me here. Or clever, but when we first met, you promised me a cure, and this isn't a cure. Just speak freely. Why have you brought me here?
I brought you here because I'm true to my word. And I can make all of this tadpole business go away. Which means you and your lovely friends can remain blessedly free of tentacles. Unless Some have already sprouted in places I can't see.
No tentacles yet.
Let us speak plain. I'll admit, you've impressed me. I wasn't sure you'd make it this far, but no matter how far you come, you're still on the road to ruin. A road that leads directly to a confrontation with the Elder Brain. At best, it will kill you and everyone else in this city. At worst, it will assimilate you, and you won't have enough free will left to even wish you were dead. You have the key to destroying it in the palm of your hand, though.
I mean, obviously the astral prism. The Emperor Orpheus. Which one is he interested in? Because the prism itself I don't think is interesting. I mean, it is interesting, but the people inside is probably who he's speaking of. Orpheus?
Very perceptive. Yes. I can give you the means to break him free.
Speak, devil. We're listening.
Go on. Orpheus's guards tried to kill me. He's dangerous. True. Why would I want to free him? Because he's the best chance we have. Like, I agree with Raphael here. Orpheus seems like the likely option to fight back against the Githyanki's great plan. Obviously, we've got that plan being perverted by Gortash and... Why am I so bad with both of their names? The other one. Whose name is escaping me. I think it starts with an O. That's all my brain's got at the moment. But I don't know if Orpheus is good against them, but against the Githyanki, having Orpheus to lead... Or against the Illithid, having Orpheus to lead the Githyanki would be good, and it would also protect us from the Githyanki and Blackith, which is great. Tried to kill me, he's dangerous. Yeah, because we're... Without Orpheus, we are essentially an Illithid in the making. So, why would I want to free him as dumb? I'm just going to say go on. Neither of these statements really interests me. Go on.
The Orphic Hammer. An artifact capable of shattering the chains that hold Prince Orpheus is held securely in my House of Hope, even now.
I mean, I'm thinking the Orphic Hammer, the name implying Orpheus. Why do you have a specific hammer specifically designed to destroy Orpheus's chains? Like, there's got to be a story there. Perfect, give it to me. Sounds too good to be true. It's very convenient that you have exactly what I need. Very true. Yeah, it's very convenient you have exactly what I need. Do I say sounds too good to be true? Those seem essentially equivalent to me. Nah, it's very convenient that you have exactly what I need.
Isn't it just? And it's even more convenient that you can give me exactly what I want in return.
Uh-huh. What are you hoping to get out of all this? I suppose you want my soul in exchange for the hammer. Just tell me what you want. I'm not bargaining with you, Raphael. What are you hoping to get out of all of this? I think is the most reasonable thing rather than me guessing or just saying no. What do you want?
Power. You free Orpheus, and in doing so save the city, the Sword Coast, perhaps the whole world, and your own precious skin too. And you give me the crown that dominates the Elder Brain.
You know.
And you, Lae'zel of Kalir, want to free the Forgotten Prince, do you not?
I want nothing more.
Then it is settled, is it not? A crown for a hammer. A bargain of a lifetime, Lae'zel of Kilir.
So he wants the crown. Which is a Netherese artifact we know nothing about. Except that it apparently can dominate the Elder Brain if it's used with the 3 Netherese stones that we, along with the 2 remaining avatars of the dead gods, have. If he gets the crown but he doesn't get the Netherese stones, I don't think it gains him much. But he probably has a plan for that. Giving him an artifact that can dominate anything, including an Elder Brain, feels like a really bad idea. I'm tempted, but tell me why you're so eager to get hold of the crown. He seems to be honest in what he says. Might tweak it a little bit, bend the truth, but he's never outright lied, though he has withheld information. So we could ask him and see if he's willing to tell us. What exactly is the crown is also an interesting question. I'd be insane to give such a powerful artifact to a devil, yes. Or just tell him no. What exactly is the crown?
Power. Ancient and full of wonder. I have craved it ever since the arch-wizard Karsus created it, long centuries ago, and brought doom to the Empire of Netheril. That was the great age of humanity, and Netheril's flying sky cities were the apex of civilization. I was there the day it all fell apart. Entire cities plummeted from the sky like angels with broken wings. The screams, oh, the screams. Hundreds of thousands of people watching in horror as the ground came up to meet them. It was not a happy meeting, and Karsus was responsible. Not driven by malice, but by ambition. He forged a crown imbued with all the powers of magic. A crown that would make any who wore it a god. Men cannot contain so much power. The crown destroyed its creator, and his empire fell with him. Karsus's folly, the bards and scholars call it. I call it hope. The hope of creating a better world, and the perils of unchecked hubris. I knew then that the folly of mortals could be the triumph of devils, and that I could use that crown to unite the 9 under one Archdevil Supreme. Me.
Yeah, okay. So again, assuming that much of what he said is true, and I think it is, the crown is not just a mind control device. Somehow, the Dead Three's avatars have used it to gain control over the one wearing the crown, which is sort of the opposite of what you would expect. But it's supposed to make them incredibly powerful, which does bring some question. If we kill both of them while the crown is still on the Elder Brain, is it going to turn the Elder Brain into effectively a god? Because he's no longer being controlled by those 3? Unless we can figure out how to use the stone to keep it in check a little bit. Because that could be dangerous. But yes, the idea of you ruling the 9 hells doesn't fill me with joy. Very true. I think you'd make a fantastic Archdevil Supreme. Probably not. What makes you think you'd succeed in using the crown where Karsus couldn't? He'd probably say something like, he was human and I'm a devil and therefore superior or something. Why didn't you take the crown there and then? I'll take the crown and use its power myself. A couple of these are good questions. But why didn't you take the crown there and then, if you were around that day? I guess it's not that long ago in history, by history standards. I think the fall of the Netherese was like 100 years ago. So there's probably elves that were alive back then. Plenty of them. Elves, dwarves, etc. Certainly devils don't seem to have aging like humans. So yeah, why didn't you take the crown there and then?
The archdevil Mephistopheles snatched up the crown and squirreled it away in one of his vaults. He is not more than a frigid archivist. So much power and potential kept inert. He made a miracle into a museum piece. I raged. But only for a decade or so. Then I waited, ever watching for more than 1,000 years. For a mistake, a mishap, a misadventure.
1,000 years.
These chosen, who have caused you so much trouble accidentally, did me a favor. They brought the crown back into play.
Because I thought the fall of the Netherese coincided with the destruction of magic. And then, which was like 100 years ago, I thought. And then only like 10 years ago or so is when magic was restored with the birth of Mystra. So maybe the Netherese fall was not coincided with the spell plague and the destruction of magic and all that went on. Was it far earlier? Because I thought they implied that it was connected, but 1,000 years certainly seems far in the past. I don't know. Must really annoy you that some mortals managed to steal the crown when you couldn't. How did they come to have the crown? Or what makes you so sure I'll get the crown? I mean, that is our plan, and so far we've been successful, so it's not a terrible assumption. Particularly if we do have allies like him helping us get to that point. How did they come to have the crown?
Through the aid of a diabolist, somebody capable of opening a portal to the hells. Deep in the hells. They must have raided Mephistopheles' vault. Impressive, I must admit. But they'll be dead soon. If you don't kill them, the Elder Brain will. It doesn't have feelings in the way you'd understand them. But it seems rather angry. It is inevitable. When you destroy the brain, and you will because you must, the crown will be yours for the taking. And when that moment comes, you give the crown to me. In exchange, I give you the hammer now.
A simple transaction, it seems, but it's more than that. He's offering you an alternative to the mind flayer in your head. Take Raphael's deal and you could free Orpheus. With Orpheus free, you would have no need to rely on the Emperor. But there's no guarantee that Orpheus would be on your side. And if you take the deal, you'll have to fulfill it. You'll have to deliver the crown of Carsus to the devil himself. He claims his ambition is to unite the hells, but can he be trusted to stop there? Do you trust him more than you trust the Emperor?
Skvar! We should do as the devil asks. The Prince of the Comet must rise again.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, Lae'zel. You want to do anything to get Orpheus free, but I don't know about this. Because I personally don't care about the hells, and so having him rule over them, uniting them into one, doesn't really bother me overly much. But what the long-term reaction to that will be, whether he will raid the material plane or something, though he hasn't seemed the, raiding and bloodshed sort, so maybe it's fine. As for the question of do we trust him more than we trust the Emperor, the Emperor hasn't done anything bad to us. Lied to us a bit, or I guess kept things from us, but he's done the same on occasion. They're both playing their own games. So I'd rather destroy the crown rather than risk falling into the wrong hands. It's probably the direction I'm feeling. I'll control the crown myself once I have the nether stones. Yeah. I don't know. Also, as much as I want to free Orpheus, it is a fair point that we have no guarantee Orpheus would side with us or not just kill us right out, because we are Illithid tainted. We could just shatter his shackles, which would get the Emperor... Yeah, the Emperor would immediately attack us. There's no circumstance where we can exchange that peacefully. If we break Orpheus's shackles, we're almost certainly going to commit to killing the Emperor, or him coming, leaving and coming back later to kill us on his timing. Either way, it's bad. Orpheus is better than Blacketh. Yeah, I don't know what to do about Raphael. I don't really want him to have the crown. I'd rather destroy the crown than risk it falling into the wrong hands. Seems like the thing that makes the most sense to me, though he's just going to be like, why would you waste infinite power?
How short-sighted.
Yeah.
Much better to put it into the right hands. Hands that will ensure it is removed from this world. And it's the only way you can ensure that you remain part of this world.
Then I'll control the crown myself once I have the nether stones. If it gives you the power of a god, surely I can use it in some manner to free Orpheus. Right? If it's that powerful?
Oh, I'm sorry, you were serious? The crown has laid low all who attempt to harness its power. Archwizards, emperors, gods. It would tear you apart.
Why are you so certain you could use it then? So I guess the question is, do I say no? Or do I agree to the deal, get the hammers, and then with the ball in my court, essentially decide where to go from there? Because then it's up to me to decide when I want to free Orpheus, if I do, and when I decide to give him the crown, if I do. Because yeah, there's probably some penalty for breaking the contract with a devil. But how hard is it to kill Raphael, if we really needed to, after we've killed an Elder Brain? If that's what I have to do to save the world. I think I'm going to sign the deal as much as I kind of dislike it. But they're kind of leaving me... A lot of this game is deciding between morally gray options. There's no, like, true good options. You've got to choose which somewhat evil choices you're willing to agree to for the greater good. And I think, at least for now, agreeing to this trade makes the most sense, and we can reconsider the deal at a later point, if we wish. But getting our access to the hammers feels like it's better than not having them. I agree to the deal. Where do I sign?
Right here. You'll find everything is in order.
Can I read that fine print, please? Particularly penalties for failing.
Once I have your signature, you will have the means to free Orpheus. The hammer. You guarantee the crown will be mine once the brain is defeated, and I swear that I will never use the crown to dominate a mortal.
Okay. I would prefer, rather than just don't dominate a mortal, to don't attack the material plane. or something. Don't order your forces to attack the material plane. Something to that effect, but okay. What happens if I don't give you the crown when the time comes? Just no reason. Curious to know what the contract says about that. Not that I'm considering it at all.
I will come to collect. If you refuse to give me the crown, I collect your souls instead. And then we all gather in the House of Hope. Me dressed in my finest silks, you skinless, hanging from a hook to watch as your world dies.
Why would my world die? Are you implying that if I don't give you the crown, you will come to this world and burn it down just to combat me? To make me suffer? Yeah, still signing the contract. We can consider potentially even making future deals with him if we're in a place of power to undo this, but getting the hammers still feels like the right call at this moment. Emperor's not going to like this whenever he finds out about it.
Perfect. One more rhyme for old time's sake. The master was slain within his own house. They dined on him both, the cat and the mouse. The hammer is yours. You will find yourself in Orpheus's presence before the end comes. When you do, shatter the chains that hold him. Be sure to keep the hammer safe until then. Your survival depends on it. And I'll keep your contract safe in my House of Hope. I'll be seeing you, and when I do, we dine.
The ink has barely dried, yet you feel a growing disquiet at what exactly you just signed. Perhaps a diabolus can offer some comfort. Or a way out. For a devil's bargain is a hard one to break.
Yep. An apocalyptic deal. Yeah, there's no real good option there. Just a bunch of bad options we had to choose between. I mean, we could have just left Orpheus trapped and just side with the Emperor for whatever his long-term goals are. But I just... yeah, I'm not certain on that.
I'd sooner have imagined shattering a planet with my bare fist than taking a deal with a devil. But we shouldn't regret the bargain, not for one instant. Raphael can have his crown, if it means breaking Prince Orpheus free.
I'm amazed at how quickly you shifted. Like, I get that you jumped from serving Vlaakith when you decided she betrayed you, but to immediately shift to, well, then Orpheus must be who I have to follow. It's like, can't you just be free? Why are you so focused on you must have a leader to follow? Seems odd to me. Now we just need to get back into the Astral Prism. Can we trust Raphael? That Orphic Hammer could be worthless. Let's hope Orpheus doesn't rip our heads off the moment we free him. That's the real question. Though she'd probably be like, oh, it's totally fine if he does, because at least he'll be good for the Githyanki people. Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't kill us the moment we set him free.
The prince will be suspicious, but he won't be reckless enough to turn on his liberators.
I hope.
There'd be too little to gain from our deaths, and too much to lose. Now, to the Sharessa's Caress tap room. We must tell Voss the news.
Yeah. Anything of interest to grab while I'm in here?
There you are. I thought I'd lost you.
Hi, Emperor.
Something was blocking me
from hearing your thoughts.
Yeah. It was Raphael. I know, I was worried. I'm just glad to have you back. It was nice to have a moment of peace and quiet. Yeah, it was Raphael.
Raphael? Well, thank you for your honesty. Of course, I should have known the devil would come sniffing. The stench of impending chaos is irresistible to them. And what did he want with you?
Do I tell him? Obviously, if we tell him that we're wanting to free Orpheus, that's going to turn out super bad. But maybe the Emperor can offer me a different side to this. Because the problem is the Emperor wants to rule here on the material plane. Versus Raphael wants to rule the Hells. And I'm more comfortable letting Raphael rule the Hells than let the Emperor rule the material plane. I'll get his take on the crown. Not what I've offered in exchange, but just that he wants the crown that's on the brain, and see what he thinks about that idea.
Giving a devil what he wants sounds like a brilliant idea. And what did he offer you in return for bringing it to him?
It's between me and Raphael, the means to free Orpheus. That would turn out really poorly to say that, I'm sure. Or deception doesn't matter, I turned down his offer. Can we deceive him when he's reading our brain? I mean, my deception is super good. I'm going to try the deception. Because I don't want to tell him. And just saying it's between me and Raphael probably won't go over well either. I turned down his offer. I'll take some guidance as well to give me a plus 18 to 21 on this DC 20 check. So as long as I roll a 2 or better, we pass. Hey, there's that 2 that I just called. That's still a pass. Even with rolling a 1 on our D4, still a pass. Minimum roll, still accomplished it.
You did. Good. I am glad. But be careful. The devil is like a cockroach. No matter what you do to it, it will always come back. I doubt this will be the last time you are approached. I trust that you will continue to remember who is really on your side. Without my protection, you cannot defeat the Elder Brain. You cannot even get close to it, no matter what the devil whispers in your ear.
Except it's not your protection, it's Orpheus's protection. That's the important thing to note. White Knight, Bishop, and Pawn orders. That's odd. No, I don't want to pick them up. I was hoping to just read them. There we go. White Knight orders. White Knight, your task is finally at hand. As commander of the Sea Tower, you're close to all the sub-commanders of the Flaming Fist. Sound them out as to their willingness to support the possibility of Flame Porter's promotion to Marshal, and perhaps even beyond. Encourage those who are lukewarm to be prepared to rank themselves behind Porter, even when events elevate her in power and prominence. However, for those who would oppose her, don't push them. Just make a note of their names and positions, and they will be dealt with by other means. That will cancel your debt, and doubtless line you up for greater responsibilities as well. Prepare yourself. Raphael. Huh. Raphael is giving orders to the Flaming Fist's promotions? Why, Bishop, prepare yourself for a major speech in your temple extolling Flame Porter for her success protecting the city and fighting crime. She is clearly a favorite of both mortals and immortals, and you can hint that fate and destiny may conspire to place her in command of Baldur's Gate. your sermon will be printed in full in Baldur's mouth. So remember that you are speaking not just to the Helm's devotees, but to every citizen of the gate. Orate, elevate, and inspire. That will cancel your debt, and I don't doubt you will end up as a key player in the new regime. Ready yourself. R. And lastly, White Pawn orders. White Pawn, you are to find a high-profile unsolved crime and confess to it, turning yourself in to Porter after arranging at Baldur's Mouth for coverage. You know which reporter to use. Your position in the FF Barracks, a Flaming Fist Barracks, should make it easy to identify a crime that, when resolved, will add greatly to Porter's renown. That will cancel your debt. Don't worry about the why. It's a pawn's place to be sacrificed so other pieces can win the game. So he's working hard to get Flame Porter promoted using 3 different favors he has that he owes other people just to get this one Flaming Fist person promoted. I want to know who Fist or Flame Porter is. Devil Don't Rhyme, a verse epic. This is a historic fantasy in verse form, told in the first person by a bold poet who challenges the devil, clearly modeled on Raphael, to an improvised poetry contest to win back the soul of his lover. The following couplet has been circled in red ink. If the line doesn't scan, the devil sneers, you forfeit your soul and end in tears. Ha, I'll keep my time and make my rhyme with vim and a snap, and no, down came the claw. Crap. Okay. Supplication Scrapbook. This is a scrapbook collecting supplications, notes, and letters from mortals to Raphael begging for boons, help, and assistance. Margin notes call out the devil's favorites, as in this example. It says she wants her siblings out of the way so she can take full control of the family business, only so their late mother will be properly honored by its efficiency and profitability. How utterly disingenuous. One has to admire it. There's no profit for me in taking her gnarly little soul. Helping her would be sheer indulgence. But if I'm not indulging myself, why bother with any of this? So Raphael, what is your level if I, wanted to murder you? Level 16 Fiend. Oh boy. This game has a maximum of level 12. And he's level 16 with 865 health. Yikes. When Raphael reduces an enemy's hit points to 0, he severs the soul from their body. So dropping to 0 is just instant death. With no soul to motivate it, the affected entity has disadvantage on attack rolls and all ability checks until Restore Soul is cast on a soul pillar or Raphael. What is Restore Soul? Overcome your soul-wrenched state by reclaiming your soul from Raphael or a soul pillar. Well, all of that sounds bad. I don't want to fight you. Alright, so we want to go talk to Voss now. Ooh, we've got... Is this another room? I thought this would just take us back down to where we've already been. But no, this is a room we haven't explored. Verka's taken Sharessa's Caress's room key from a star Inn using magic pockets. Okay. Huh. Underdark Pleasures. So this must be the preferred room of the Drow that we never saw. Huh. Must have missed them. So they're not in here. There's also nothing showing up to be picked up. I am almost over encumbered. It's probably because I suddenly have a giant hammer and a 30-pound torso. Lae'zel, you can hold the torso. Do we let Lae'zel hold the hammer? She's obviously the one I would have use the hammer. But I'm worried because I do occasionally trade out her with Karlach, I'm worried that we might end up in the Astral Prism without her, and therefore without the hammer. And that would be a problem. Well, it looks like there's nothing else for me to loot from there. So let's just head back in. Have we gone through these doors? Okay, those just lead outside. No, that's fine. Hey, Voss.
Voss, friend to the comet.
Lae'zel of Kalir, warrior of warriors. Tell me you took the devil's deal. Tell me you will free Gith's heir.
Question, is the Emperor listening in right now? Because... yeah, that's awkward. Show him the hammer. I took the bargain. I will free Orpheus at the first chance. I mean, because we lied to the Emperor, it feels like I should continue the deception in case the Emperor is listening in. But Lae'zel's going to say so anyway. Like, she was there. She knows that we took the offer. Maybe we don't speak. We just show him the hammer.
So you lied to me.
Oh, nope. Yep.
In spite of all our progress together, still you would abuse my trust.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
The comet is not dead. The Prince of the Comet will come again. The Prince of the Comet will liberate us from the Lich Queen's tyranny. Can it be? Will the mighty Prince Orpheus soon illuminate the astral plane?
Gith's son will soon ride against Vlaakith, Voss, and I will follow him into battle.
And you will wield the greatest gift Mother Gith ever granted her dauntless children.
A silver sword. I will carry it for the honor of Gith, the great liberator, and her unforgotten son.
Istik, now that you have the hammer, you must find a way to enter the astral prism. Once inside, smash Orpheus's bonds. His cry will shake the plains, and I will fly to your aid. The Prince of the Comet will sear the heavens again. Let the Lich Queen tremble.
Think again. I will not permit your entry.
Yeah. You need to let me into the prism. He really doesn't. At the current moment, there's no need for him to let us in. There's no way I'm going to convince him because he knows that if we go in there, it's going to be a fight, us against him. He's going to try and kill us. Like, there is nothing for him to gain from us freeing Orpheus. Unless there's some circumstance where he and Orpheus can get along, but since he's been the one imprisoning Orpheus, I highly doubt they're going to come to a mutual understanding. I'm just going to ignore the Emperor. Nothing we say here of any of these. Let me into the prison. Can I convince you? Or I'll find a way to free Orpheus from your clutches. None of those are going to help my situation with the Emperor. So just ignore him.
Questions, Istik? You seem to be lost in thought.
Getting into the astral prism will be complicated. Orpheus sensed the tadpole before, and his guard attacked. Won't he attack if we free him? That is the very good question.
The Prince of the Comet aches for Githyanki liberation more than he abhors Geich. He might seethe when you free him. He might gnash his teeth and slander your name. But he will see reason. I promise you.
Well, getting into the astral prism will be complicated.
Yes. But you will meet this challenge, as you've met so many others.
Yeah. So, I kind of expected that's how it would go. We no longer had Raphael blocking out the situation, so obviously, whatever we said, the Emperor was going to know. And yeah, maybe I could have deceived Voss, but I suspect Lae'zel would have just told him. And so what would have been the point? We showed Voss the Orphic Hammer, and he gave us a powerful silver sword, the highest grade of weapon in Githyanki custom. He left to prepare for the revolution that will follow Orpheus' deliverance. I'm still confused about Voss, because wasn't he the one that imprisoned Orpheus originally, based on the legend? Alright, the silver sword of the astral plane. Let's give it to Lae'zel, so then we can see with her stats how this affects things, compared to the Soulbreaker greatsword she's wielding. So it's a D6 rather than a D4. Nice. Of Psychic. Githborn Psionic Resistance. A Githyanki holding this weapon has advantage on Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. Saving throws, resistance to psychic damage, and cannot be charmed. It's a +3 weapon rather than +1. We lose the +2 to initiative, which isn't super important. Is that the same ability? Soulbreaker. Yeah, I think so. So we get to keep the same ability that I rarely ever use. The fervor with which the Githyanki express devotion to their queen is admirable to some, disquieting to others. When confronted with the possibility of the divine, since no one is wholly perfect, who knows what reaction such folk may evince. Alright, Lae'zel, you get to wield... That is a massive sword. Like, looking at the crossguard there, it's like as wide as her shoulders. That is absurd. But sure.
Still breathing.
Alright, Lae'zel, let's talk to you.
Since I was old enough to hold a blade, I've dreamt of wielding a silver sword. The swords cleave both meat and mind, body and brain. To swing one, mesmerizing. To be slain by one, agonizing. Everyone I bleed with the sword will be my tribute to Prince Orpheus.
Also, where did Voss get this? Unless this was Voss's own silver sword that he just gave to us. Because I doubt he just has a collection of them spare. Thinking of your knowledge of Githyanki silver swords, what details did Lae'zel miss? Interesting. Could this sword be enough to break Orpheus free? Obviously not. What makes the silver sword so special? I mean, if the silver sword could break Orpheus's shackles, Voss wouldn't have been asking us to make the deal with Raphael. What do we know with this history check? Good.
You recall another fact about silver swords. The Githyanki forbid their use by all other peoples.
Only Gith are permitted to wield these swords, right? So I shouldn't take it off of you and give it to Karlach?
Only Gith's children may wield swords of silver. Unless a Githyanki grants the right in exceptional circumstance. The Illithid Grand Design nears. The true heir is shackled. These are exceptional circumstances. I grant my allies the right to my silver.
Interesting. Okay. We're going to ask the dumb question just because it's here. Could this sword be enough to break Orpheus free?
Certainly not. Or the Prince's honor guard would have already fractured his prison.
Yeah.
To break Orpheus free, we will need the Orphic Hammer.
What makes the silver sword so special?
A Kithrak's silver sword is more than a weapon. It is an extension of your will, an entire limb unto itself. You merely need to think strike, and it strikes. The sword carves the correct path, and carries your arm with it. The ancient slates tell us that each sword holds a fragment of the living gate, a flesh portal made from the stuffs of nightmare.
The terrible living gate, thinner than a lamb's hair and hidden deep beneath the Feywild.
The silver injures the body. The gate's flesh injures the mind. A formidable weapon against Gaich.
So it's not merely just a silver sword. It's the silver sword, but with other materials mixed in that the Githyanki have come across in all their travels to create a supreme weapon. Because I was like, wouldn't, werewolf hunters use silver weapons? And if one of them happened to have a silver greatsword as their preference, are Githyanki going to kill them? But no, it's not. It's Githyanki silver swords that are illegal to use, not just any silver sword, presumably. On to other matters. Oh, do you think the egg is doing well? Interesting question. We've had that in her inventory for ages now. We thought about making use of the tadpole. The Emperor's astral touch tadpole promises exceptional power. Yeah, do you think the egg is doing well?
The egg grows ever warmer. The hum of life within it louder. It may yet hatch, though not soon by my estimation. In its heat lives stimulation, and in its throbbing, exhilaration. An effigy of Githyanki future, incubated inside a fragile shell.
You're getting attached. Should I start calling you Mommy Lae'zel? We should keep in camp away from danger. I got to. Should I start calling you Mommy Lae'zel?
Only if you want me to roast you over a campfire, using my blade as a spit. But it is true that I feel some manner of responsibility for this unhatched whelp. After we free Orpheus, we can revisit the matter. If the egg hatches beforehand, well, we will shield it from the Lich Queen's zealots. Whatever may come, I will not let Vlaakith poison the fledgling with lies.
Should we keep in camp away from danger? We could. I suppose. I don't know. I just like keeping important things in the individual's inventories that they are connected to. So in this case, with Lae'zel.
A camp once visited by a scheming devil is no safe haven for the unhatched. It has afforded us as much disquiet as it has rest.
That's true.
Leave the egg with me. There's no need for further discussion.
Okay. Hadn't considered that our camp isn't actually safe. And I guess with that, we are... I was gonna say we're done. Ah, this is where... I haven't gone in here. And there's the Drow twins that were mentioned. Well, let's hold off. That's just outside. Yeah. I think we've gone a bit over time. It's fine. We'll stop here. Next time we will go in there and talk to all of those people. Maybe we'll camp. And then see what else is in the area. But there is another room. No, it's another building. I just see this open space. It may be attached to Shressa's crest. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll stop here. We will talk to them next time and then see where to go from there. Thank you all for watching. Bye.